Hello, it's Ariel from Ariel Sims, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a community lot build, which is not something that I usually do, but this is part of my Build Windenburg series, and so that includes building both residential homes and also community lots. And it's kind of fun, I think, sometimes to step out of your comfort zone and do something really different in The Sims. So this lot is a combination cafe, bakery, library. And originally I was only going to use get-together content for this build because I do want at least some of my builds for this Build Windenburg series to be only get-together content so that people don't have to get like a billion different expansion packs and game packs and stuff packs just to download the lot or enjoy the lot. I forgot though, when deciding that I was also going to have it be a bakery, that the bakery would not work without get to work content. So I did at the last minute start to add in a little bit of get to work content, but there honestly really isn't much in there. So if you just want to take out the bakery part of it and just use it as a cafe, you can totally do that too. I included maybe like 2 get to work items, one of which is a cash register. So yeah, not a big deal. But yeah, anyway, I have this in kind of the Tudor district of Windenburg. I'm going for a lighter Tudor theme than the one we got with Get Together. So my Tudor buildings are more of like the white and light wood color than the white and black. And I really just wanted this cafe to look, you know, pretty like old town European. I did use a couple of inspiration photos just of like European old style themed buildings off of Google Images. I don't really remember exactly which ones I used, but I will look for them, and if I find them, I'll just kind of insert the pictures into this video. But yeah, I knew I wanted it to have a very old style and European look, and I'm pretty happy with what I came up with. I got a little bit fancy using kind of the side, not really the siding, I guess, I forget what it's called, but the trim work between levels and the trim work especially between the second level and the roof. And I just broke it up a little bit to use 2 different styles. So I had to design the interior floor plan around that a little bit just to make sure that I didn't get any unwanted trim work in areas where I didn't want it. But yeah, no, I think this building came out really cool. I've never built a cafe before in the game, so it was definitely a learning process. But I do like to have community lots that serve like more than one purpose, because especially now that we have loading screens, I hate having to like drag my Sims around to like 7 different lots just to have kind of something for everything, or something for everyone, I guess. So that's why I decided to go both with a cafe and a library theme. There's also like almost like a stage area, but we don't have stages in the game, and I didn't want to make this like a split level. So yeah, there's an area where if you have a band in the game, the band can perform, or just anybody in the entertainment career, they could use it to perform and maybe earn some tips while people enjoy their croissants and baked goods and all that fun stuff. I personally am a big fan of cafes. I cannot live without my coffee. So I think it's always kind of fun to go to like a cafe and get a coffee, read a book, go online or something. That's my idea of a fun day out. Nothing too wild and crazy. But yeah, I did play around a little bit with the interior just in terms of working features that I wanted on the exterior into the interior of the building so that it would look cool. So like I have those little things on the side that jut out a little bit, and I wanted them to have a different trim, which means it had to be a different room than the area of the floor plan that has like the other type of trim. I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but yeah, I mean, you'll see it like in the screenshots too, where I went in and I just put a window in instead of including that section as part of the room on the second floor. And that's all just so that the trim on the exterior works properly. But yeah, I did want to go for a little bit of a lighter theme with my Tudor style buildings in my makeover of Windenburg. I feel like I should come up with like a different name for this town than Windenburg, because like it's not really, I don't know, I'm calling the series Build Windenburg, but like if I'm rebuilding the town, like I should probably just like give it my own name too. I don't know, if you have any suggestions for possible names for this town, let me know in the comments below what you think. But yeah, I went kind of all out with the decorations on the exterior. I have flower boxes in like every window, and I worked in some ivy, and I just have windows everywhere. And I don't know, I really like the wall decorations that we got with Get Together. So I really like using them, and it's kind of nice for a lot like this where you don't really have to stick to a budget. I think the problem could come if your sim wants to run this as a bakery and you don't want to cheat. In order for your sim to like own it and be able to run it, I think they'd have to buy the lot, but I don't know, you could just cheat if you want to. I mean, for other purposes, like for the cafe and the library and stuff, it really doesn't matter how much this lot costs. So yeah, I went kind of a little bit overboard with the exterior decorations. I have such problems with the word exterior. I'm from Boston, and so a lot of people know, people from Boston, they tend to have these accents where they don't pronounce the letter R. I don't really have a Boston accent most of the time, but sometimes if I'm talking quickly or if I'm singing or something, I have a lot of trouble with my R's. If I'm just speaking normally, I don't, but when I say the word exterior, like, I have to really think about it in order to get it out. I don't know, maybe it's just a hard word to say, but yeah, I feel like I stumble over that word in every video I make. Maybe I could come up with like a different word to say instead of exterior, but then you would have to say like the outside of the house, and I don't know, that's just kind of a mouthful too. So yeah, just adding in the lights. I do like to switch to night view to do this, and then I switch back to day view quickly to see what the lights look like. So here you can see they kind of stuck out a lot, and you could see them, and I didn't want them to be as visible, so I just kind of changed the color of the lights just to make them blend in a little bit more. And then I added in like a bit of kind of what looks like a sidewalk, and just the community lot lights, which I love those lights. I think that's going to be a fun thing for me about building community lots, is some of the items for community lots, like those lights or the banners and stuff, I mean, I'm sure you could find a way to work them into a residential home, but to me they just fit better with a community lot. So yeah, I don't know, I had fun using those lights. I put like a flag in. I kind of customized them a little bit by putting that flower pot at the base of the lights, just because I thought it added a fun little look. And then I wanted to add a little bit of seating outside, but not too much, because if you've ever been to Europe, or if you live in Europe, I'm sure you know most of the buildings like this, if they're in a town center, they're like right on the edge of the street. There's normally not even like the grass that I did end up putting in, like that's normally not even there. Everything hangs over the street. And it's not like that in the United States. There's normally a little bit of a lawn in front of buildings, or at least like a front patio area. So I think I kind of went with like a happy medium with the two because I did want to just, I don't know, I think it's always nice to have like a spot outside for your Sims to go and just kind of chill out. It's not really like they can do much outside. I didn't really put much out there. But like if your Sim's on a date or something and they want to get away from the crowd inside, they can go sit on one of those benches. I was just really into putting a lot of different objects outside, so I was kind of just putting everything I found out there. And it might be a little bit much, but, you know, I was having a good time, and that's what this game is about, is just, you know, having a good time, enjoying what you're doing. Yeah, I was still putting wall decorations up. Oh god. Anyway, so then when I went to furnish this lot, what I do when building community lots, speaking from my like 3 community lots of experience, because I really, honestly, I don't do this very much, but I like to get that checklist up of everything that you need on a lot for it to be a certain type of community lot, and I like to just put those items in first. Sometimes I put them where they're gonna go, and sometimes I just put them on the lot just so I don't forget it. And I fulfill all of those requirements first, and then I kind of place and design everything, just so that I don't create like rooms and a design and set everything up only to find out I'm missing something and have to get rid of things and, I don't know, deal with that whole drama. So yeah, I have that checklist up briefly, but it does go away pretty soon. But yeah, the second floor serves more as a library, while the first floor is kind of the cafe bakery area. But the kitchen for the bakery is on the second floor, and it's the strangest shaped room I think I've ever done. You'll see, I think I furnish it at the very end of the video, but it's just such a weird shape. And it's a little bit of a crazy layout, but you know, you work with what you have. This is almost at the point where I realized that I was gonna have to include some get-to-work items, because I was setting up like the area where you would order your drinks or bakery items, and I did want to like make sure that only employees could get behind there, so I put in a gate. And I added a little bit of a half wall just to make it look like it fit in. And at this stage, I really liked the layout of how everything was set up. Unfortunately, I then remembered in order to have a bakery, like, well, I don't know if you need it, but I wanted to include, like, the bakery display case. And so I would then need to make this area bigger. And so I had to play around with the layout like quite a bit for this because, yeah, it got kind of cramped, and it was like a little bit frustrating. I considered very briefly just not making it a bakery, but I was like, you know what, like this is really what I wanted to do, and I'm making my own rules for this series anyway, so like why not just add in some get-to-work content. Just change the layout here a little bit of how this is set up and turn it into a bakery as well. So yeah, and then I had changed the color of the counters because I didn't want it too dark, but it's kind of funny because then eventually I do go back and like change the color of like the tables and chairs and make them like a pretty dark color. So I don't know. My like thought process and decorating style for this changed multiple times, and I think if it hadn't been my first time building like a cafe style community lot, I probably would have done things a little bit differently. Like I would have maybe tried to just make like the ordering area bigger and like designed the floor plan of the building differently. But I don't know, it was my first time, and I think for a first attempt at a cafe bakery, it turned out pretty well. I really wanted to include a lot of like the countertop decor that we got with Get Together because I love it. Like, there's those little like tea caddies, I guess maybe, And I just love those, and this like baked goods display case. And I don't know, I've always wanted one of those, like, I think they're cake displays or something. I'm not really sure what they're called, but I like really like those in real life, and I want one really badly, but I don't really bake very much. Fun fact about me, I can't have dairy. I have a dairy allergy. It's not just lactose intolerance, like I have an allergy to whey and casein, which are the proteins in milk. So I can't have any dairy products, and for me to bake something, I have to use a lot of like replacement type, like I have to use fake butter and fake milk and stuff, and like in regular cooking it doesn't matter that much, but in baking the consistency of everything is really important. So it can really mess up some recipes, and it's more complicated to bake like when you have a food allergy. And so like a lot of people do it, and there are some great blogs and stuff with like good recipes, but it's just like a very involved process. And I don't really eat dessert much anyway, because I grew up, like I've never been able to eat dairy. I had like a brief like 3 years of my life when I could have it. So I just kind of grew up not having dessert, not having ice cream, like, you know, I'm just used to it, so I don't really feel like I'm missing anything. But yeah, I guess that's a fun little tangent that I just went on. I don't know if you're really interested in hearing about my food allergies, but there you go. But yeah, this was the little like music area that I wanted to include. I play the piano, and so I love being able to include pianos in builds in The Sims. I really hope in an upcoming either game pack or expansion pack, whatever they come out with next, I hope that they have like a keyboard or something a little bit smaller than the piano currently in the game, because I think we have 2 pianos and they're both pretty big, and it would be cool to have like either a 2x2 or a 2x4 thing, especially like a starter piano set. I think it would have fit really well in Get Together, like to include it with the content that we got from Get Together, especially because we got like the like all the DJ sets and whatever. I don't know, but yeah, I hope they include that, because the pianos in the game right now are just kind of big, and like pianos in real life are really big objects, but like I have a keyboard in my apartment that's not that big, so I don't know, it just fits better, and it would have been better I think for this lot, because when I built this building, like I didn't plan to put a piano in, so I just didn't really plan out the size of this very well. I think also it's maybe it wasn't a good idea for me to include 2 sets of stairs that are each 2 tiles wide, but I just liked the look of it, and I felt like it made it look like more of an old building, and I did want the building to have kind of an old look to it. But yeah, I went a little bit crazy with the decorations just because I could. And I really, really love those antique, they're kind of like photographs, I guess. I'm not entirely sure what they are, whether they're paintings or photographs. But I really love the look of those that we got with Get Together. So those were fun to include. And then, yeah, this is close to the point, I think, where I start changing the colors of all the tables. Partly it was because the way the lighting works on this lot, one of the tables looked like it was a different color than the table next to it, and it wasn't, it's just the lighting of the lot. But that was kind of bothering me, so I made it darker, and it didn't look that way once I kind of changed the coloring of the objects. But yeah, I think I changed that pretty soon, and I wanted to use some of those really big, they're like portraits that we got, but they just didn't fit on the walls. There's a lot of windows in this build, so I was kind of a little bit limited in terms of like the size of the paintings that I was able to use. And yeah, I worked some flowers in, and I don't know, I kind of ran into a point with this build where I knew I wanted to include more objects, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to include, so I was just kind of playing around with a bunch of different things. I don't know if you guys ever reached that point with your builds where you're just like, it doesn't feel finished, but I don't really know what it needs, so let me just add in a bunch of random stuff and see what happens. But that's what I did here. And yeah, I mean, I think that this building looks kind of cluttered, and it doesn't look like the most upscale building in the world, but I really kind of like that feeling. But yeah, and then we moved upstairs where, like I said, the second floor is more of like the library type area here. It does have bathrooms on both levels, but I did not furnish the bathrooms as part of the video just because like I kept the bathrooms really basic and I just didn't feel like it'd be interesting to watch. So yeah, that was left out, but everything else is in this video, so it's fine. But yeah, I created this little desk area at the top of the stairs because I wanted to have like one desk that didn't have a computer on it as like a good area for a kid to come and do their homework. They could do it at one of the tables downstairs or do it like on the floor somewhere, but I don't know, I thought it would be nice to have like a desk kind of devoted to that. So I have that at the top of the stairs, and then in this octagonal room I made it really like the reading room and the study room, and there's that wall of bookshelves, which my intention for that was to use that bookshelf door that we have as kind of like a hidden door to the kitchen, where you can bake the baked goods that your sim would sell. But the kitchen, it's so oddly shaped. I like ran out of room, so I had to move the bookcases around, and the door looks less hidden than it originally did, but it still works. And yeah, I still went with like kind of a dark theme up here, just because for me, like, old European style is pretty, like, I feel like it's just pretty dark. Like, all the furniture is dark and all the paneling is dark, and so while I wanted to make the buildings less dark, like the actual, like, facades and paint and stuff, I did want the items to still be like kind of that like heavy European style design that I just consider to be European. I mean, there's a lot of different design styles in European design because obviously it's like a very diverse area of the world, and you know, this isn't the only style, but like this is what I think of when I think of Europe. I spent a semester abroad in college and studied in London for a semester, which was amazing. I highly recommend for anyone who's in college to study abroad. It really is one of the best things that I did in school. You get to travel a ton and learn about like other places in the world and how people live in other places, and it was just an amazing experience, and also it was really fun to just live in London for a little bit. I loved it there. I'm dying to go back. I haven't been back since. That was like 6 years ago, so, but yeah, like this is the type of building that I remember seeing in England, and so, I mean, you can see me fiddling around here with the kitchen and the kitchen design. But yeah, that room was just, that was tough. It didn't really fit, but yeah, I don't know. That's okay. But anyway, we're about to move into the screenshots, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I should be back soon, hopefully, with another video, probably a residential build. But yeah, if you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up below, and please subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I hope you all have a great day.